WBA's leading social enterprise show. On the Mic with Mike King Biz, delivering food for thought. To find out more about the dynamic host of On the Mic with Mike, please visit his website at MikeKingBiz.com.
On my own property. On the Mic, Mike back with Anita Bird here, NeeChic in the building. Alrighty, so when you go up to New York and go to New York Fashion Week, what is it that you bring back for your business that you see, that you run into? You're like, I'd like that. Let me incorporate that into the way I operate.
Well, I will say, because, at New York Fashion Week, it's a different perspective, of course. It's big names. It's the fashion side of things. So fashion styling, as opposed to what I do, is personal styling. So it's a difference. And sometimes people get it confused. So when I see, the models and just the process, back of house, helping the models get dressed, to see that process, how it's done, to see, sometimes you will see the designers. Even if it's a glimpse of them, you will see them. So that's a big deal. And just all of that great energy that's happening. And I'm like, I want to continue to be a part of that, because, New York is a mecca. That's where everything starts. So you get that energy and you get more excited about what you do. And you're like, okay, I want to take some of those aspects and then apply it to my business. Because, again, it's just a different perspective of how you style. So.
And you're talking about, when you're talking about styling, you're talking about it helps people show up the best version of themselves.
Exactly, because presentation is everything. I got sent a quote the other day by my cousin, and it's probably not verbatim, but it said pretty much, you can get any job, any position, anything you want if you dress for it. And that's true.
That is true.
Don't have to have the experience. You show up, you get in the door, you present yourself well, and anything can happen.
All right, so here, ma'am, since you're here, now let's touch on that. A lot of times there's pressure on women that it's not on men. Sometimes men, we're just oblivious to that pressure. So when you're saying dress for the position that you want.
Exactly.
That's different for women, different for men. Mm-hmm. There's a job opening that says you need these 10 boxes checked, maybe 8 to 10, you're good. Women think that they need to get all 10, maybe 8, and they still don't feel good about it.
Right.
Like, if you get the job, you're not exactly sure. A man takes that same thing, 3 boxes are checked.
Right, and they're going for it.
And when they didn't get it, they can't believe it. Like, I can't believe they passed on me. Mm-hmm. Well, that is because, you went in with the mindset, I'm going to get. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's for women, it can be a little bit more fragile than that. So you have to go in and help a person with your presentation, because the presentation allows how you are going to operate.
Exactly. And, a lot of times women, they may not have the confidence. That's a lot of what I do to help to build that confidence, or if they lost it, to rebuild it, so that they feel like the man feels. He goes into it like, I got this.
I got this.
I mean, it's a wrap.
Whether it's true or not.
Exactly. Sometimes women don't feel that way. It could be they're dealing with things personally. Maybe they're transitioning from one thing to another. So that takes a hit on their self-confidence too. So then they start to get in their own head, and they're like, oh, well, I don't feel pretty enough. I feel, too fat, whatever the case may be. So the confidence takes a hit. And when that confidence takes a hit, it can really stifle you. It makes you afraid to really move forward, or to really seek something that you want. Say that job that you're talking about, she's going to over prepare. She's just looking for all the research to see what she can do to make sure that she gets that position. And still, with all of that research and information she has, she still may not be confident.
One of the things, on the mic, Mike and Eatrice here with us, I tell people, I'm in the people business.
You are.
And, and one of the things is because people, it opens doors, it gets things done. You're in the confidence business.
I am.
Because, and it's not just women who, a person would say you can because people didn't understand why all the models sort of looked the same. Because you know what, it makes it easy. I would guess going through saying you're helping women with their confidence.
Yes.
And so it's at different points, different periods of life. You work with all kinds of women, older ones, younger ones, ones of all sizes. Talk about the importance of that when it comes into confidence.
Well, working with different women?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get different perspective. You get different life experiences. Someone who's 25 is not going to have the life experience that a 65-year-old has. I mean, she's matured. She's probably, the 65-year-old, if she wished, she probably had children, maybe grandchildren. So she gleans things from those experiences too. That 25-year-old, maybe she hasn't had children yet. She's just starting out in her career. So she's more of a sponge, whereas the 65-year-old, she can be the mentor and guide her more. So just to get those different perspectives from each woman and what they really want from life, from their career going forward.
So, one of Mike and NeeChic here with you. Richmond is a small place. Yes, it is. And I've had you, and you've been on a bunch of times. I never asked you about mentor person or a point in your career that a door opened and boom, that was it. So I had a panel yesterday.
Oh, how'd that go?
And Kimberly Lewis Parsons was on from Bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
I just know her because of Virginia Council CEOs. I see the picture. She goes, "Oh, I was just with Holly Bird Miller." I'm like, what the heck? This is the way it is around town.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And it's just 18 people in Richmond. And once you get to know those 18. What was it, or there was a point or a person in your career that really kind of took it off and you said, okay, that really helped me, or that person?
That person really helped me? I would say I take, influence from different people. I wouldn't say it's just one person. I can't say.
So what
that.
situation? So now we're going to go back to the Tappahannock days. You said your father really was. He inspired y'all. He had daughters, and he was going to make sure.
Yeah, my dad was great.
He was that guy.
Yes, great man. He's an entrepreneur as well. So we got to see the highs and the lows with what comes with that, being an entrepreneur and how you have to hustle. So we got to see that firsthand, and just how he really did bootstrap it, because he came from nothing, I will say that. And he was a young father, so he had Holly, my sister Holly, when he was 17. So he
hustled.
He knew he had to do something. So he didn't start off being an entrepreneur. He worked for someone else. But then he realized what he really liked to do. And he built it from there and was a huge success. And I just, watched him and how he handled things, and just really admired that as well, and took inspiration from that. And I still do to this day. I always think at times, well, I wonder if Dad is proud.
Yeah, he is.
I wonder if Dad is proud.
Because when I look around, there are other stylists who are out there. And then there's you. I mean, you're, and when you have people on, they're like, well, you're the one, when you come to a stylist, that people, see, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. See, they said it was cold in here because I keep the temperature down. She came in with her little vest on, being stylish, but the bright lights of the Mike King Biz studio,
it helps.
It's like a runway. It's like I just walk around with the lights on me, and my walk-up music all the time, because, when Anita Bird comes in, I just can't be in here any kind of way.
All you many that are built like me, I'm the last of my kind. Grew up on the back road, baby. I know how to survive.
All right, we ain't getting carried away here. All right, man, what's next for you? Okay, I got to go back. What is it with you and this whole Ashland Hanover thing? I used to see you operating and doing business. Then all of a sudden, I see you held in hands with Hanover. You're in the chamber on the board.
I am on
And
the
next
board.
thing you know, you guys are having some masquerade. You're having a masquerade party. Do I have to wear one of those?
Yeah.
Those things?
You got to.
What is that called?
What do you think it's called, Mike?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably called a mask. I thought that there was some other fancy name. Like I just learned not too long ago, charcuterie. I'm from Philadelphia, so it's, a lot of times we're not that cultured. I thought that
cultured.
the little fake, the fancy mask. I thought it had a name, but you're looking at me like, Mike, it is a mask. Okay, so give us the Hanover Ashland story.
Well, going back to what you said, I am a member now on the Hanover Chamber of Commerce, so that's pretty cool. And I linked up with Lou, and you told me that she was on recently with the Downtown Ashland Association. So they are having a New Year's Eve masquerade party, but it's to benefit them and the Hannibal Arts and Festivities Center. So it's to benefit that as well. So they're nonprofits. And with that, they're doing auctions. So
And you have?
and silent. So I'm a part of that. So I've offered my service, a discovery assessment to whomever, you go in and you bid, and if you win, that's what you'll get. So we'll sit down and we'll talk about you, talk about your style. If you don't know your style, we'll discover your style and then have a blueprint from there that's very personal, because that's what personal styling is. It's about you and what you like and the goals that you're trying to achieve personally and professionally.
Is that where you go to people's closets?
Yeah, that's part of it.
I think we've had this conversation before. When you see something so horrific in a closet,
Have I?
do you show people, or you're a professional and you saw something that came from, Lord have mercy, like there's certain styles come back.
They
The
do.
70s should not, for the man, the 70s should not come back.
It's cyclical, yeah. It is. What goes around comes around. But when I see something like that, I will just say, you want to talk about this? Let's talk about this.
And she's going to say, girl,
what's the story behind this?
when I busted that thing out in 1978, I was it. Well, I was. Just like the 78, I had on a light blue tuxedo to go to my prom, with the white shirt with the ruffles and the platform shoes that were white. There is no place.
Picture. You have a picture.
Yeah, it ain't showing the light of day. Let me tell you that. There are certain things that do not need to come back. But now there may be people who are fiercely going to defend that piece.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So we're going to have that discussion, because I always tell them this is a collaboration. And you have to be happy with it too, right? So when you're happy with what you have on, that's where the confidence come in, right? So it's collaboration.
What's it like when you help a person and they come back to you and they say, man, this thing, it really helped me? What's that feel like?
Oof. That feels like God reminding me that this is what I should be doing, what I'm supposed to be doing.
When did you know? Now, we had a story about you starting to go. When did you know that this was your thing from a professional standpoint? You're like, I'm pretty nice with this right here.
I will say, and I'm going to be transparent, and I think a lot of people deal with it. At one point, I did have imposter syndrome. So, and again, I've talked to other people who have it, and something internal is like, okay, am I good enough? We all at some point suffer with different things. So I did have that at one point, but after sitting back and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, you think about, you do like your audit of everything you've done over the years. You wrap that up and it's like, oh, I did this. And then, people come up to you. Someone came up to me recently and said, I love your work. So things like that, it's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
You're like, yeah.
So things like that, it just, reconfirms it for me, and it humbles me too.